And now for our reporter roundup, we have two reporters from the Asbury Park Press, Shannon Mullen, Dan Radel, and we're going to talk about some of the stories they're working on. Shannon, we're going to start with you. This story about the lottery and the lottery claims and the investigation you're doing is fascinating. And even though you're centering it on New Jersey, this is a national story.
Yeah, in fact, I was reading in other newspapers in in Florida and Boston, they've had an issue where they've run the numbers of who's winning the lottery, and the people at the top of the list aren't winning a little bit, they're winning a lot, like hundreds of times in some cases.
It seems like there's something shady going on. Explain the story.
Well, anyone who's played the lottery knows, if you win a couple times a year a prize of a few $100s, or in this case several $1,000s, you're thinking you're very lucky. But these are people who are winning or filing claims for winnings every month in, month out, in some cases, week in, week out.
So what's happening?
Well, there is a possibility that some of these people are genuinely lucky. Although the odds, we had a statistician work the numbers for us, and in some cases, some of these players would have had to have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in wagers to produce these kinds of results. So it definitely looks very strange, particularly since roughly about half of our top players are lottery agents for New Jersey. So these are the people who are selling the tickets, and they're winning a lot.
So are you just exposing the fact that this is happening? Have you been able to find out why it's happening?
Well, around the country, large numbers of wins by lottery agents can be a red flag for something called ticket discounting. And basically, if I win the lottery for, say, $3,000 for a pick 4, and I have to file a claim form that's going to alert the state that I've just had this windfall, and those claim forms are checked against if you owe child support, if you owe court fees, if you've defaulted on a student loan or something. And so those debts are going to come out of your winnings. If I don't want to deal with that, I might come to you and say, here, give me cash for the ticket, you cash it in, and you'll get the difference as sort of a commission. And these commissions range from 10% to maybe 40, 50%,
So
depending on how desperate I am for cash.
Will this lead to a state investigation, do you think?
Well, the state, the New Jersey Lottery takes this issue very seriously, and they have cracked down on agents in the past. We were able to look at some disciplinary case files, but they were sort of strangely dismissive of our findings. Originally, we presented them with about 2.5 years of data, and they said that, really we don't see any red flags here. So we went back, we got more data, about 5 years worth of data, and presented that to them. And what they've told us is that no, we're not seeing anything here that's making us feel we're missing something.
Wow, so the same person winning over and over again isn't strange, I guess.
Are these guys scratching tickets? I mean, is that what it is?
It's any kind of wager. When you, it can be a scratch-off ticket, or it could be a pick 3, a pick 4, a pick 6. There's a zillion games now. And so any time that you have to file a claim, in New Jersey, you have to file this claim form for any prize over $600. So if it's less than that, the retailer's just, you hand in your ticket, the retailer's going to give you your money and off you go. At $600, you file a claim, and that gets reported to the IRS, and it's checked against these other government databases. So.
We're going to get the Dan story now, too. Dan, your story is really an alert for fishermen.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, for this winter, starting on January 1st, they're going to shut down the black sea bass fishery, which is an important industry for several boats that take. And this is a recreational fishing industry. These are guys who are going to pay a fare. They're going to go on one of these party boats that go out of the various inlets and they go offshore and they go fishing for the sea bass. It's called the black sea bass, and it migrates offshore. And
It's the one you typically catch off the New Jersey coast.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Okay.
Not just the New Jersey coast. You catch this fish from Massachusetts down to North Carolina. You know, it's a regional fish, and that's where this gets all real tricky.
And
Yeah.
they're cutting it off for that entire area.
Yeah, no fishing for black sea bass. And this
And
is
if you get caught, what happens?
well, they're not really, you know, the agents. You know, we could talk about some of the instances in the past, but the agents aren't really interested in the one fisherman who's going out on the boat to catch black sea bass. Because if that guy's on the boat, he's not going to be the only one catching black sea bass. The whole boat is going to be catching them. So they want to they want to make when they go out there, they want to haul in a big net. They want to bring in as many anglers as they can.
Why are they doing this?
Well, it's regional management of fisheries. They're saying
Does it work?
It's debatable on how well this is working right now. NOAA will come out and they come out and say, okay, we've caught more fish, we're generating more money, but they keep cutting down on the harvests, and they keep putting small guys out of business. So sometimes protecting the fish puts the fishermen out of business.
That's the crux of the story, right? And this is like a billion-dollar industry.
New Jersey fishing is $1 billion, recreational fishing in a nation, and all this happens. These little stories are all around the country right now. These kinds of incidences, but yeah, fishermen usually are kind of close to the bone. You have to find a balance between maintaining these fish stocks and maintaining the fishing industry, the people who fish on them, and giving people the opportunity to enjoy the natural resources that are in our coastlines.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. Thanks for
Larry.
coming in. That's a
Appreciate it.
fascinating story. I'm looking forward to your story as well, Shannon.
Thank you.
Shannon Mullen, and you can read both stories on www.app.com.
That's right.
That's correct.
We'll be right back.